In this episode, I'll walk along the South Bank, use my wide-angle lens, and smell some flowers. Good evening and welcome to the vlog. So I've decided spontaneously that tonight I want to do a sunset chase, and really is the perfect time at the moment to do that because it's mid-June at the moment, well at this time of filming anyway, and we're 1 week away from the summer solstice, which is, of course is the longest day of the year, so that makes for these days to be extremely long, and that also means that the sunset's very late. So I had a long productive day at work, managed to go home, relax a bit, eat dinner, leave the house again, and here we are, off to go chase the sunset. So the location I had in mind for tonight is the South Bank, where the London Eye is situated, and the reason I want to go there is twofold. First reason being, I recently got a wide-angle lens, which I haven't owned for about 2 years. Back in the day when I had a crop sensor camera, I had a nice little wide-angle lens, but when I stepped up to the full-frame camera, I haven't had one since. So been having to do a lot of panoramas to get the wide angles in, but yeah, anyway, that's a thing of the past. I'm back on the wide angle, and I'm actually keen to try it out in London. I've been trying it out a bit in Norway, where I just got back from this week, and really loving the wide angle again, but it's time to get it out on the home ground and see what we can make happen with that. So the London Eye is really perfect for that, because obviously London Eye is very big, and to get it fit all in, a wide angle is just perfect. So that also brings me to my second point. The London Eye is very close to where I live, so like I said, I just got back from Norway. We climbed up a mountain, which you can see in my previous vlog. Check out my channel. And it was quite grueling, so my legs are really quite busted up, and the less I have to walk, the better. So I guess I got lazy, picked a location close to home, and I think London Eye is a great location regardless. So let's head over there and get shooting. Just arrived on the South Bank, and unsurprisingly, it's extremely popular, which of course is normal in summer on a good weather day like this. Amazing. How great is the sky, by the way? Looks insane. So hope come sunset, which is about 40 minutes away, this lights up in a lot of tones and we'll be on to some really good shots. So in the meantime, there's two compositions I had in mind behind the London Eye, and yeah, if all goes according to plan, we'll get some great angles there for wide angle lens. But yeah, let's head over there and see if we can pick them out. Hopefully the crowds aren't too crazy and we can get the shot nice and clean. So just arrived at the first location I had in mind, and check this out. Standing right behind the London Eye, really close, and it's a really cool angle because it's the reverse. And usually you see the London Eye in shots from the front side, so let me show you what this looks like in more detail. Okay, so what's really caught my eye here are these beams that hold up the London Eye, because they make for some amazing leading lines. And then you got that majestic London Eye towering right ahead of you, so that looks incredible. And the sky, as promised, is really turning out nicely. Look at all these tones reflecting off the white in the clouds. Looks insane, loving it. And then check this out. This is what I've gone for setup wise. So went with my 18mm wide-angle lens and some filters, which I'll talk about in a second. But the first thing I want to talk about is how I've tilted the camera up. Now this is something I'm not really a fan of, because when you tilt up wide-angle lenses, you start to get a lot of distortion, but and I'm really not a fan of that. But in this case, it was kind of inevitable. That's the only way I could get the angle right, because if I step a bit further back, these trees really start blocking the view, and that didn't make for a good shot. So yeah, I had no choice but to tilt the camera up. Tried to tilt it as little as possible, but it's still going to be a bit distorted and give it a bit more of a creative feel, but that's fine anyway. And then another thing I want to mention is these filters I'm using. I'm using a medium grad filter, which just darkens the sky a bit, because you can see how the sky is so much brighter than the foreground. Like this camera is struggling right now, and as with this one. So by introducing a graduated filter, you just darken the sky, giving your camera some sunglasses for the top bit of the sky, and that balances the scene out a lot more, so gives you a much more balanced shot, and I'm really happy for results. Here they are, check them out and let me know what you think of them in the comments below. So I've just set up my second shot of the day, and this is a rather spontaneous one because I haven't come across this composition before, so I thought I'd try something new. And these flowers caught my attention with a London eye in the background. It makes for a great shot in my opinion, and I thought I'd do something experimenting and see if I can get this right. So recently I actually did a focus stacking tutorial for Photoshop on my channel. If you haven't seen that, you should probably give that a watch if you want to understand how the shot works and how to replicate it. So what I'm basically doing is I've set the camera up, and I've got my composition right with the London eye in the background and the flowers in the foreground, and then I'm gonna be doing some focus stacking. Let me switch to the front camera and I'll show you how that works. So the camera's on the tripod, and I've picked out a few focus points that I'm gonna go for. So first I'm focusing on these flowers, then manually adjusting my focus, going for these flowers back here, then another shot focusing on these flowers back here, and then lastly I've focused on the London eye as well. And then by doing that I should have the entire scene in focus, and then later in Photoshop I'm going to combine all the shots. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details of that because I've done a separate video on that, like I said. But anyway, this is the final result. I hope you like it. Moved a bit further around the back of the London eye and set up shop at the next location. So cameras here, London eye in the background, and yeah, this is one of the shots I really wanted to get, and that's the reason we came down here. And let me talk you through why this shot really stood out for me. So earlier in the video I mentioned that I really wanted to make the most of this wide angle lens and capture as much of the scene as possible. So that's why I came back here, just to get the full London eye in shot. And then this time around I walked all the way back. See, we're almost at the wall now, just so that I didn't have to tilt my camera up as much. It's still a tiny bit tilted, but less than enough previous shots, so hopefully a lot less distortion to deal with this time around. And here's another key important aspect I want to talk about when using wide angle lenses. As a beginner you think, wow, wide angle lens is amazing, throw it out there and you fit everything in. But the one thing you got to remember with wide angle lenses, it's actually a lot more difficult to compose with a wide angle lens than it is with a standard lens. And the reason being is just that you fit in so much that you can kind of get lost, and you don't have a clear subject. So I wanted to come stand all the way back here because for my foreground, which is just as important as the background where the subject is the London eye of course, I wanted this foreground here because I love the way this S-curve of a pedestrian walkway wraps its way all around the London eye, and it makes for really good framing. So in my wide angle shot I'm probably going to go for a 16:9 crop, and then got a bit of grass in the foreground, these beautiful lines that frame the London eye, and that in the background. So yeah, that's kind of the idea I had in mind. I hope it turned out good. I hope you like it too, and here it is. Okay, so sunset's long behind us and we're mid-blue hour now. By the way, how cool is this halo effect of London eye? Not saying I'm an angel or anything, far from it. But anyway, time to wrap up this video. Actually quite chuffed with the video. We used a lot of different shooting techniques tonight, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I also hope you learned something. And if you have future suggestions for videos or any shooting techniques you want to share with me, I'd love to hear about those. Let me know in the comments below. And also, I'd appreciate it if you like and comment on this video. Also, given the YouTube algorithm, that boosts my stats a lot and that gives me a lot more visibility, so I'd really appreciate that. Lastly, if you aren't subscribed already, do hit that subscribe button below, and I'd love to see you on the next episode. So thanks for watching and good night.